between 6 and midnight, there's a lot you can do about your internet connection, including get into a vehicle and drive all the way to Kisumu, if you must, from Nakuru. You know you can do that? But at 11:50, power goes, internet goes, what do? Let's train ourselves to work in good time. I have a few friends, I'll not name them. They missed deadlines, they missed things, and I'm like, you see? They are laughing. Yeah? They will reveal themselves. They know that deadlines mean something. Good lessons, yeah? Saruni, I'm not mentioning you. Yeah? And of course, you're not alone in that regard. A lot of us do. I really want to belabor this point. Have the discipline of keeping time. I think it will help you in every other thing you do in your life. When you think grants, please keep time. Apply and apply and apply. Sometimes I tell people that I apply for grants more like going to the gym, just to make it right. Sometimes I know I may not get this one, but I pour my heart and mind into it just to be practicing how to write, just to keep my thought process alive. You know, just to even learn how do different donors want their documents. You know, these ones want gender equity. I try my best, then they give me feedback and tell me, you didn't get it right. Okay, I don't understand that. Next time, try another one. So gender went right, now this one went wrong. And so on and so forth. Your budget exceeded, etc. You have to practice and practice and practice. And generally speaking, we say only 1 out of 10 of the ones you apply for, you get. So increase your chances by applying. Of course, not randomly to everything, but you must apply because there's so many opportunities out there. Practice makes perfect. When you see the university, I speak to the university fraternity, allow me. When you see the call for innovations early next year, we close the one for this year. A lot of students don't think it's for them. I really need to remind you that the primary target for that is students. I had interesting conversations the other day. I'll not name names again. And they were saying that students find it hard to read email. Faith, I'm not mentioning you. I tend to keep secrets, Faith. So I'll not say it is you. It is Faith, one of our sponsors. Students find it hard to read email. I don't know what you read if you don't read email, or you like just TikTok and etc. That when the moment they see the email is long and there's an attachment, we're not reading this. I don't understand. But all the opportunities are in this email that we send, isn't it? So we interact and people say, I didn't know that there's such a thing. Ask, do you read your email? No, I don't. Why? It's fashionable not to read email. You look good when you meet your friends and you tell them, you know what? I don't read email. Is it fashionable? Unfortunately, I think it is. But I don't think it's a good practice. Your future employers will be coming up and telling you that the only way they communicate is email. So just read your email, read the documents. Therein lie lots of opportunities. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Let's offer him a better round of applause. All right. Thank you, Dr. Ri. I know some of you may know, but majority of you may not know that Dr. Moses Thiga is the biggest grants winner in this university. He has a huge grant portfolio. Wanamwambia nipe moja nikumanajie kidogo kwa sababu because how do you manage 10 grants? And all of them running at the same time. You need to, you have a team for grant A, you have another one for grant 7, you know. So we are hearing from the horse's mouth, if you know what I'm talking about. We're hearing from the horse's mouth. So thank you, Daktari. What I know about you is you're quite generous with information, even though I know that in sharing we also learn. In sharing we also learn. So he shares. And in the process of preparing for these presentations, he also gets to understand other details. I would like to encourage comrades and other members who are in here and outside to read details. They say the devil is in details, but what they never tell us is that the angel is usually also in those details. So you can either bump into the devil, who is in those details, but if you have a good day, you will also encounter your angel. So please read those details. They mean a lot. Asante sana, Daktari. We will do one more session, and this session is going to be facilitated by Boresha Sacco. Boresha Sacco have partnered with us in so many fronts as a university, including the Central Rift Innovation Week 2022. They have also come through for Central Rift Innovation Week 2023. And I am also aware that they continue to partner with the university in other spaces in a big way. So Boresha Sacco has become like a part of Kabarak University, and we appreciate your support. We appreciate you being with us in most of our events. We know that you have also been a financial partner for majority of us, and we're happy to hear from you regarding what you've been doing in support of the innovation space, because I know you continue to do this, and in so doing you support economic development. As they prepare to come, I can see we have Dr. Fred, we have Madam Winnie, and I want to believe there's a Mr. Chebi. Thank you so much. As they prepare to come, I have seen the Secretary General of the student. Is it organization or association? It must be Kabarak University student, KUSA, right? It's called KUSA, or KUSO, whatever. He's coming to put it right. I would like to give him a minute to greet us, because I want to request him to bring us students tomorrow. And when you are a Secretary General, you know, wewe ni mkubwa. Yeah, wewe ni mkubwa. I was student president. And you know, kuja mkubwa. Let's appreciate the Secretary General as he comes. Yeah, just in a minute, say something, greet comrades, and please bring us people tomorrow. Tell us about something about it.
Sure. Yeah. Innovators, good morning. I greet you all. Good morning. Kindly wave at me. Thank you so much. I like to thank Dr. Walekwa for the opportunity. He was my lecturer for immunology. So immunology is something totally different from ICT. So when you mentioned about wanting people outside ICT, he qualifies to be one of them. I'm glad to be here this morning. I came particularly for the grants topic. I think we all love money. And thank you for bringing it right. And you realize as students, I believe in all courses. In your final years, you'll be doing projects. Some of you could be wondering, where will I come to apply for these grants? Such projects are in your final years. You could want to progress to publishing, and later on, then apply for the grants. So thank you so much for the insightful information. And also for the partners, all the partners around, we welcome you to Kabarak University. And on behalf of the university and the CUSO, the Kabarak University Student Organization, we are very glad to have you around. And sir, tomorrow is the final day. I believe apart from those who are here, we should come with 2 or 1 each. 2. Si tutakuja na wawili each and a partner, but there are some of us who are not having partners, sir, so that is a joke. But I believe if we each purpose to come with someone, then tomorrow this place will be full. Sir, everything will be in place. And once again, thank you so much, and may God bless you all. My name is Linus Moreka. I'm in 5th year School of Pharmacy.
Thank you. Thank you, Bwana Secretary General. He was my student doing pharmacies. It's a big name in the university, so we are happy to have him in our midst. I've also seen my dean, Dr. Pamela Kimeto. She has joined us. Dean, karibu sana. We're happy to have you here. There's Professor, is it Professor Moma from a very good professor, head of innovation from Masina Muliro University. We're happy to have you, Professor. So we go to the next session. It's going to be just about half an hour. That will be facilitated by Boresha Sacco. We want to give him a chance. Then after them, we will do a Q&A, which will feature Dr. Moses Thiga and that team from Boresha. After that, we'll break for tea and snacks. Then we'll come back and listen to the next presentation. So can we now put our hands together as we welcome Boresha Sacco on stage to proceed with their presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Walekwa, for this opportunity. The Kabarak University community, Jambo. It's a pleasure once again to be here. We've been with you through from Monday up to today, and we will be there up to tomorrow. Dr. Walekwa has mentioned my name. I'm Philemon Chebi. I head business development and marketing at Boresha Sacco. And we are very much pleased to be a brother, a partner with Kabarak University community. We've enjoyed mutual relationship. We've enjoyed collaboration in various areas. And we are pleased and happy to have been invited to speak during the Great Rift Innovation Week, because we also have something to say. And without much ado, our presentation will be done by Dr. Frederick Lagat, who is head of internal audit and compliance at Boresha Sacco. Dr. Frederick Lagat is a doctor of philosophy and finance, pious in accounting finance, and he's been with Boresha Sacco for over 20 years. And a round of applause for him as he comes up to the stage, Dr. Frederick Lagat. She will also team up with our head of ICT and innovation, Madam Winnie Serkon. A round of applause as she comes. Madam Winnie Serkon has been with us for over 8 years. She's fast in ICT technology. She's a certified hacker. I think as a joke, you should have called her to recover the Facebook page when it got lost. On a light note. So the two colleagues, heads of departments, will be able to take us in the next session. Karibuni.
Thank you, my brother Chabi. Good morning, all. Without much ado, as my name has been mentioned, a CPA, Dr. Frederick Lagat. We are very much delighted to be part of this forum, Central Rift Innovation Week. It is such a wonderful moment for us as Boresha Sacco to actually recognize that innovation at this Central Rift has actually appreciated the fact that or it has embraced Boresha to be the heart of this Innovation Week. In fact, as we shall continue with this discussion, the vibrant history of Boresha Sacco has been an history of innovation. Globally, cooperatives, or in other jurisdictions they are called credit unions, they are part of the sector of financial sector. Here in Kenya, we have key players in the financial sector: the banks, the microfinance institutions, the investment banks, the non-financial institutions. All these and the SACCOs or the cooperatives are actually the key players when it comes to the financial sector. So in a nutshell, we are really proud to Kabarak University. We are proud to the organizers of this Innovation Week, because our history, as I've told you, is actually evident of the key role that innovation has played. To continue, the history of Boresha dates back to 1976, when 10 very creative and very innovative members came together. As we could be understanding, in any aspect of innovation, it is actually finding a solution to a pressing problem. So in 1976, 10 members came together. They pooled their resources together. They were able to raise a meager capital of 10,000 among themselves, and their intention was actually to solve their financial needs. They saw that they had a challenge in terms of mobilizing resources for them to lend in terms of credit. So these 10 members who formed Boresha Sacco then in 1976 stood now to bring the others together, who actually embraced the model of saving and credit. And throughout those many decades back then, Boresha Sacco has been there to fulfill the mandate of savings and credit. And behind the growth, which from 10,000 to now, we can talk of 11 billion asset base and savings of over 9 billion, well, credit of over 10 billion. This has been the journey of innovation. These dynamic figures actually shows the great role that innovation has been able to play in terms of the growth trajectory of Boresha Sacco. One of the key areas that innovation has been very robust is actually the growth of Sacco by reaching out or diversifying to other regions. Remember, our county of inception is Baringo County. But over the years, we've been able to spread out of Baringo County. We are currently largely spread and having branches and footprints in 7 counties. In Baringo alone, we have many branches, over 12 of them. And our growth strategy, our strategic plans, backed with innovations in terms of reaching out to membership, is what has also propelled the huge growth of Boresha Sacco to currently having spread its wing to over 7 counties here in Kenya, and more so in North Rift. In fact, we recently opened a branch in Kitale. The other aspects of innovation that has really propelled the growth of Boresha is actually the transformation of Boresha Sacco. When we look at Boresha from 1985, around 1985, the Sacco was more of manual. Its record, its registry was actually a registry that were manned. The workflows were manual. There was no computerization. But from the onset of computerization and the innovative systems that the SACCO put in place from the late 80s to the early 90s, the SACCO was able to transform its records through computerization, through financial systems, and through accounting systems that made the management of the SACCO to be very efficient and be able to effectively serve its members. So through this computerization, it is a continuous aspect of innovation. Remember, some of the models of innovation, the process product model, these are the models that the SACCO have heavily used in terms of improving its workflows, serving its members, meeting its members at the heart of the members so that we are able to effectively meet their needs. The other key aspects of Boresha SACCO is actually the huge transformations that innovations has brought to the SACCO. These transformations actually lie in terms of the systems that we are using to serve our members. These transformations lies in being able to innovate, to imagine the member's needs, to actually figure out what does a member need. And from those needs, we are able to sit, conceptualize, and actually initiate a product that are member-centric, courtesy of innovation. And through this, we have structured the organization of Boresha. The boss are representing the back office, and the force are front office, where we offer semi-autonomous banking services, and the small enterprises section. All these run very effectively courtesy of technology. Our products here actually are technologically driven, and the SACCO has invested in very robust and dynamic, with partnership with financial innovation institution, the fintechs, for us to be able to actually meet, be able to figure out the members' needs so that we are able to develop member-centric products and services that meet the financial needs of our category of membership. Just as part of the history, so that I don't forget, the initial 10 members were actually employed as teachers. But over the years, and because of the enabler, that is technology, we are able also to serve into other sections of our communities, the farmers, the business communities, those who are employed also by other semi-formal sectors, because we actually opened the bond. And currently, out of the huge transformations since 2000 going forward, our membership has been able to grow. We have been able to grow the business. So innovation is a huge enabler of growth in any small organization, whether big or small. When you employ technology, when you innovate, when you are able to figure out the needs of your customers, with no doubt, meeting their aspirations and needs, your organization will grow. And this is what Boresha is evidently saying today, that innovation has been at the center of our growth. The expansion of our workforce from as low as 5 employees to currently over 200. The employees, the management, are able to serve the growth strategies and the dynamics of Boresha SACCO, courtesy of innovation. We have actually mapped out our innovation framework, starting from member recruitment to how a member can save, courtesy of technology, to the lending now, which is our core business and mandate. Our day-to-day business is actually lending. And in fact, with no doubt, even as we sit now, we are meeting some members' needs, courtesy of technology and the banking platforms. I am sure by the time we started talking this way, if we can check our mobile platforms, quite a good number of our members have already applied for their loans, advances, and they are able to transact. Some are already paying their bills. Some are already paying their school fees and such other, courtesy of the adoption of technology and innovations that we have done. Part of our processes also have been transformed, the recoveries, the marketing, reaching out to our members through the digital platforms, the reporting frameworks that comply to the regulations, both locally and internationally. Remember also, the International Financial Reporting Standards requires that such a financial institution of the magnitude of Boresha should adapt to all financial reporting standards. For this case, the reporting frameworks that have been digitized, that we have various financial systems in place to be able to actually derive data analytics and report as required to the international standards is actually by adopting technology in the aspects of financial reporting. We also do welfare management. As I have said, at the heart of innovation is the members' needs. At the heart of every technological imagination is actually what is the member need that you are addressing. And this regards the welfare issues of our members, issues to do with bereavement and such other unfortunate circumstances. So out of all this, we can say Boresha has been able to tie technology and innovations to the member and be able to drive their products to where their members are, because innovation has played a key role. Some other huge transformation that I'll leave it to my sister to discuss are the range of core banking activities that we have actually adopted as a circle. So we can say and sit here as witnesses that innovation is what influences processes. Innovation is what brings innovative products. Innovation is what made us as Boresha Circle to be flexible and agile, to be able to address the emerging needs of our members. Remember, every other day, their needs, their demands keep changing. They are not just like they were last year. Courtesy of technology and innovation, we are able to be flexible, to adjust our systems and processes to meet those emerging needs. The other key role that innovation has brought across is in terms of imagining our strategic disruptions. The growth of Boresha has not been that static over the years. It has been a journey of strategizing every other time. Sometimes the strategies are disruptive to the workflows, but we have to continue improving. We have to continue strategizing. We have to continue imagining the next few years where Boresha should be. And driven by our vision, our focus, that since inception, 1976, we want to remain to be the financial provider of choice. And this will be also driven by our core values. And among the 6 core values that we have adopted as Boresha Circle, one of the values is the value of innovation. So we have actually recognized the aspect of innovation to actually be an aspect that plays a key role in terms of growth of Boresha. As I conclude so that my sister can continue, we also want to envision and tell you that the huge partnership that Boresha enjoys and the role that it has been able to play within the forums of competition with other financial institutions, we are able to compete very well because of modernizing our processes through innovation and technology. Like the lending, we have various digital products that our members will not be compelled to walk into a brick and mortar branch for them to access. at the comfort of their phones, at the comfort of their bedrooms, and wherever they are, they can still enjoy that connection. So that continuous relationship with our membership is what has made member experience to be good. And because of a good membership relationship, we have enjoyed good membership loyalty. Members has been able, or our customers have been able to continue embracing Boresha Sacco and even referring businesses to Boresha Sacco. As I continue because of time, there is so much transformations that the Sacco has come or has brought about. In fact, as we do the business of savings and credit, we are still remaining to be very sensitive to our communities around. And from this, Boresha is able to partner with communities around through their corporate social responsibility. And such, even like appearing in this forum today, is one of the aspects of partnerships where we want to continue with financial literacy. At the heart of financial literacy is technology again. We are able to reach out to our members, especially when it comes to new products. We sell the features to them. At the comfort of their phones, they are able to check and see what are the latest products that Boresha has brought on board. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I hand over to my sister today, the history of Boresha tells us much about organizations should continue remaining dynamic. The Sacco Boresha of 1970s is not the Sacco of today, courtesy of innovation. Boresha Sacco of 5 years ago is not Boresha Sacco of today, courtesy of innovation. Boresha Sacco of 2021 is not Boresha of 2022, courtesy of innovations. Boresha of January 2023 is not Boresha of July 2023, courtesy of innovations and technology. So, technology has really played the center stage of our growth. In fact, lately this year, even the modeling by the government of Kenya of those online lending platforms, they borrowed heavily from financial institutions like Boresha, courtesy of what we are doing also in terms of financial deepening. So we shall continue innovating, we shall continue partnering, we shall continue embracing innovations so that we are able to meet at the needs of our customers and members. Kiswahili wanasema, vinavyoundwa, vimebuniwa. Si ndivyo? Ukiona vimeundwa, ujue vimebuniwa. That is wahenga wa leo, si ndio? Courtesy of innovation, isn't it? So when you see them coming up, then know at the center of what is coming up as a product, as a service, is innovation. Thank you. I will give the rest of the time to my sister Winnie to continue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fred. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, to be part of the commercialization of research and innovation. And just as part of my introduction, I just want to add ethical hacker, not just a hacker, because I might scare people in the room. I am an ethical hacker, so I have no business checking out on your friend or spying on anyone, but as long as it is something that will save the situation. And in line to that, if you have an Oppo phone, please make sure you restore to factory settings afresh, then uanze kutumia. Most of those people wanatembezwa online. Through my own research, I realized they are owners of Oppo phones. I'm sorry if I've touched anyone before I start my presentation, but hiyo sasa ni part of research and what we have found out. It's important to share. The only way we can learn is to share. So, ukiwa na Oppo, please, nyuma ya tent. I'll pick from where my colleague has left in terms of innovations, You cannot innovate unless you are driven by a need. You cannot get out of your comfort zone unless you realize that there is need for you to move from one point to another. There is need for you to grow. There is need for you to live a purpose that you came to this world to do. There is need for you to be that outlier that every employer could be looking for, that every big institution would want to poach or would want to associate with. And that is same when it comes to innovation and advancement. Until you have some pinching points, is when you realize the need for you to step up your mandate in innovations and accelerate your movement. So part of the innovations in Boresha, for example, have been driven by the need, which you can see from there, from how we recruit a member, is a need. Long time ago, you just had to fill a form, visit a branch, fill a form. Visit a branch, fill a form. Then you are told the nearest branch to you is 70 kilometers away. You are a busy person, you have so many things to do, you have so many other businesses to attend to, and you want to withdraw 3,000. How can you go 50 kilometers away? That is a whole 2 hours, especially for those who come from the 1970s and 80s, where the matatu used to be the internet. Moja ikienda, niyo peke yake mpaka irudi. So for you to travel, you have to go in the morning, you come back at 1 p.m. using the same vehicle, which used to be called the internet because it was one. So member recruitment forced us to look at ways and means in which really we can onboard a member without necessarily asking them to visit our premises. And that's why we launched some of the services that you can see there. We have the onboarding app. It's an app available on Play Store. You download it. You do self-service onboarding to Boresha Sacco. All we will do as the team in Boresha is to do validations and checks before we onboard you to become part of the member of Boresha Sacco. The other driver was on the savings. Long time ago, most of your savings, you have to have a passbook, something like this. They register your name. Then any transaction that happens around you visiting that branch used to have a tick, debit, credit. What transaction were you doing? So now, computerization has helped this much so that in case you need to save, you can save through your phone and it directly hits your ledger or your account with the Sacco. That way, we have embraced the use of M-Pesa integrations. We don't work the journey alone, the way my colleague has mentioned. We have collaborators, we have partners. So we have financial technology companies that really we work with in terms of innovation. So with M-Pesa and with M-Boresha, you can transact at the convenience at your own time. Before you spend on sad hour, or we call happy hour, you save, then you spend the balance. That is what technology and innovations has done. And what I wanted to mention is that according to this theme of commercialization of research and innovations, Boresha Sacco is a consumer. So if you have that technology that can really help drive these needs of the member, be it savings, be it lending, be it recoveries, be it reporting, welfare management, all those things. It's a discussion that we can partner so that we can be able to have more avenues where our members can be able to get served. So there is still room for uptaking more of the innovations available as a Sacco. And we are just representing one Sacco among the 176 deposit-taking Saccos regulated in Kenya by SASRA. Under lending, innovations has not been left out. We have gone to digital lending thanks to digital scoring, where we can be able to assess your score, digital score as a person, for you to be given that limit that you are normally given. For those who have taken the Hustler Fund, Boresha were able to contribute to how it was scored for you to get that hustler fund. And we were part of the technical committee that scored it. So we can proudly say that Boresha is ahead when it comes to how really we can be able to score our members, how we can be able to serve our members, and how we can give better service delivery to the members. Recoveries, we normally say our motto here is save regularly, borrow wisely, and repay promptly. So on matters recoveries, we want to say that for those who didn't understand our spirit nicely, recoveries, we will send a reminder, we will tell you your debt is due, and once it's due, you are supposed to really pay in good time. But that one, at least, has not been one of the biggest challenges that we have, especially for people who understand why exactly they need to take a loan. There's only one remedy to a debt, and that remedy is just to repay. Marketing and outreach, we do a lot of digital flyers. We get presence online. We are on Facebook. We are on the social channels. I can see 10% of you are on phone now, so we are also there. I hope you are downloading the app to join Boresha Sacco, and that is available digitally. So it has made us get out of the comfort zone and make sure that market outreach can be possible even where we don't have a physical branch presence. Market outreach can also reach the diaspora members. We have our friends, relatives, and colleagues who are living and working abroad, so they can repatriate the money back by opening an account with us digitally and join Boresha Sacco. So some of the contributions that we have, or the collaborators that we have, is that at the heart of Boresha Sacco, we have the core banking system. And with this core banking system, it is talking to M-Pesa for you to deposit and hit your account. It's talking to M-Boresha for you to remove money from your account and it hits your M-Pesa. It is talking to the EDMS. We have 18 branches, and all these branches are centrally accessible to the head office, where loaning is done centrally from one point. So the EDMS has made it possible for us to digitize the physical records, especially when you fill a form. Members portal is what has made us possible to reach the member by giving you a self-service portal. If you need your statement, you don't have to call anyone. You don't have to know anyone. All you need to know is your member number. Go online, then request for your password. It comes to your phone. You proceed. XMobi app is enhancements of the member portal in form of an app so that you can be able to have a 360 dimension visibility of your account. All these are integrating to the core banking because that is where your data or the member data is centrally managed. So all these innovations, you'll realize that we have collaborated with different integrators, with different providers, and we are proud to say that the member, we are at the service of the member. Our core mandate is to deliver on the needs of the member. So we have a number of technological advancements that we use. I'm glad Dr. highlighted this. Dr. Fred, sorry, the room has many doctors. We need the room next time to have many innovators. So I hope 2025 we'll have it full. We'll champion it better digitally and make sure that we have other people join. And for that, it's possible once they understand that money is in technology. Money is in innovations. If you want to become an outlier, Steve Jobs, all you need to do is check that direction. All those guys who were born in the 1953, 1954, read about them. Digital analytics, we have so much data. You've been told we've been in existence since 1976. And then you have been with us for 20 years, and you're asking for a loan. So how do we know you? We cannot do character assessment by looking at you. We can do your character assessment by checking your history of transactions with us through the data that we have. That's what data analytics does for us. Data analytics tell us that today, so-and-so is going to pay. So if he's going to pay, or if they have any outstanding thing, you also send a trigger of a reminder or so that at least that individual can be able to keep in touch. Digital credit scoring. We have digital products that are happening on the phone. So someone will say, how was I given this? Why is my limit this and not this? Simply because we have a digital credit scoring. We have even partnered with SpinCrunch, which is an application that if you give us your M-Pesa, we will tell you, you normally fuel at Shell petrol station in Karen twice every day. So we know you have a car. You didn't tell us. Is that possible? Let's not talk about, the other example is this. You pay school fees at Kabarak University. If your parent gives me the M-Pesa statement, you'll realize there's credit to Kabarak University through Access Bank, which is happening every quarterly. That tells you this person is having a 19 to 24-year-old. And that could not be the only one. There's another payment happening to Cooperative University College, Karen. So when you get that report or when you have such kind of an assessment, it will inform a lot when it comes to digital scoring. This person needs a school fees loan. This person needs a Mzinga Junior account. This person needs a product that we mentioned earlier. Digital marketing, you can relate with the current happenings. Digital marketing moves with the trend. If you really have to market today, unasema mambo ni ngapi? Sinisai tuko matatu. Sijui kama ni ile matatu ya kupanda or if it is the real three. So you know Kiswahili also tuliomba. Watanzania wanaweza tuambia vizuri. So mambo ni matatu. Save regularly, borrow wisely, repay promptly. Getting a digital way of communicating the same in a simple way makes that message sink home without having to wait until without having to do the traditional marketing where I have to go and meet so and say, hey, habari yako, mzuri. In fact, in Kenya, before hata aseme mzuri, atakuwa amekuangalia suspiciously, is this person really real? What does he want? Or what could he be interested in? So you see, even if you had a message or you wanted to market something, it really becomes difficult. So digital marketing has made it easy for us to represent information in graphics, in videos. So TikTok is important. TikTok is very important. The only thing you have to take is that TikTok and the other things should not waste the time that you should be accessing in real information or the grants the way we were being presented to earlier. So we have that aspect of the digital marketing. Omnichannel Service Center. This one actually a long time ago, it used to be a call center. You call 100, you tell your problems, they tell you don't have airtime, they tell you whatever. Now, you can choose the ways and means you can be able to communicate with the contact center. You can do WhatsApp, you can do Facebook, you can tweet, you can Instagram, you can WeChat, among many others that are coming in, day out. So what the Omnichannel Service Center does is that it gives you the support. It gives you the information. It responds to you without really having to travel way far to make sure that you get that answer. Report sharing framework, you realize that we work in an environment where we have regulators, we have partners, we have to share information from time in, time out, and even the government, we have to share information of, for example, when you pick a loan, what are you using it for? That categorization itself is needed by the government to make the decisions like how they have introduced the housing levy so that it can be able to improve the housing of the Kenyan population. So we have digitized the way in which the reports are being done so that automatically it just gets exported to the other parties and really leaves us with more time to concentrate on the member. Then we have data reconciliations where it's now automated in terms of what transaction did you do, how much, where was it going, where was it coming from, and is it tallying? So these data reconciliations stopped being a tick or a minus or a question mark, but nowadays it has auto reconciliations based on the metrics and parameters that we put, and at the end of the day, it can only be able to sideline or put aside what is irreconcilable for a second and a third eye for that to be able to happen. So when you look at it all, that is more of data analytics, that is more of artificial intelligence, that is more of making business intelligence out of the information that we have, which really is making the work more automated. And that is why the room should be full, so that next time we have more people thinking of ways and means to automate even better. It's not an end, it's a beginning. Every day we have something new that we have to see how we can be able to meet it. We have the Data Protection Act that we have to be compliant because we are saying we have so much data since 1976. We have so many other social impact that we have to assess and say that since we introduced the digital banking, people don't travel a lot, so there's no carbon being emitted by matatus, or their matatus have become less coming to the city center, and that's why we have really contributed to this. So most of these innovations have really an impact even on our social or the social side. So this is just the beginning of many others, and we are happy for the collaboration of like-minded institutions. We want to thank Kabarak University for the Central Rift Innovation Week. Honestly, you'll not know something until you get into a discussion or until you listen from what has happened elsewhere. And that's when we grow, that's when we improve, and that's when we innovate even more and more. That's it from Boresha Sacco, and I want to say, Messi Biko.
Thank you, Winnie. How do we respond? Do we say Messi? Biko. That's the response. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Messi Biko. Hope I said it correctly. Thank you so much. That's an amazing presentation. Let's offer them a better round of applause, please. Asanteni sana for taking us through your products and what you have been doing over the years. 1976 is a long time ago. Now we move to do Q&A. Q&A, then we break for tea. So the Q&A will be featuring Dr. Moses Thiga, who presented this morning on writing grants for innovation and the role of SACCOs in the financing of innovations. And we've been given a case of Boresha Sacco. I'm suspecting that we've been joined by a crew from Kenya Commercial Bank. I'm happy to confirm that yes, that is the case, and they will be making a presentation immediately after we have had our breakfast. Asanteni sana. So I'll be taking 2 rounds of questions, and each round will constitute 3 questions. So we'll do the first round and then do the second round. All right, so what you do is you raise your hand, we bring you a microphone, then you say your name, you mention to whom you would be directing your question, then you ask your question. I request you to ensure that the question is very clear, brief, and easy to understand. So don't give an elaborate background before you ask the question, just ask the question. All right, the art of asking clear questions, because we don't have so much time. Yes, yes, that is, is that Chairperson Kusa? You'll introduce yourself. The next question will come from, there's a gentleman on the back there, you'll introduce yourself. Then the third question for the first round, that gentleman who is on the camera. Yes, please proceed. Say your name, your department, or where you come from, and to whom you're directing a question. Keep your question very brief and easy to understand.
Okay, thank you. My name is Faith Wafula. I'm the current Vice Chairperson of KUSA. I have a question directed to Mr. Thiga on grants. At what point do you realize or do you recognize that you need grants? Because is it at the initial stages of your innovation, or could you have started your innovation and then you realize that you need grants at a particular point? So at what point do you recognize that you need an innovation?
Thank you. You
A
need a
grant,
grant.
sorry, yes,
Thank you.
grant.
I like the honesty in that question. I like the level of honesty in that question. At what point do you realize that you need a grant for your innovation? Thank you, Wafula, for the question. Please say your name, where you come from, and to whom you ask the question. Ask the question.
My name is Flavian Morole, and I'm a third year. I'm pursuing computer security and forensics. So my question goes to Boresha Sacco. There is an aspect you have said about data analytics. So I would like just to shed some light on the issue of information security. You have claimed that for one to be eligible maybe to partake some loan, you need to process maybe his data information, privacy. So I would like to ask, there is an issue of data privacy there. So how do you address that issue? And how can you convince me to trust you that my information is safe with you and it cannot be breached to any third party? Because you have claimed maybe in the aspect of, you can know maybe if somebody is studying at a particular university, fueling at a particular Shell station. So my issue is on that data privacy. How can you convince me that my information is safe with you guys?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's clear. Then last question, the gentleman on the camera.
Thank you very much. I have two questions for Boresha. First one, I'm concerned, they have shared how they have promoted innovation through maybe reaching out CSR, among other projects. But I would like to ask, do they have any training or capacity building programs to promote innovation skills and knowledge within their circle? The second question is that do the circle provide access to affordable credit to the innovative ventures or startups? Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a very good question. Let's start with Boresha, then we come to Dr. Moses Tiga.
Thank you for that question. I'll go to the second question of the CSR and how we are promoting CSR. Probably, perhaps even from the onset, we mentioned that as Boresha, we are open to the fact that we are a member of the community. Boresha is a citizen also of this country, isn't it? Yeah. Should I face you? All right, thank you. So out of this, we want to appreciate that communities also, we need to do our business in a very ethical way, in a way that we embrace community needs. And out of this aspect of corporate social responsibility, Boresha has been able to do various things to actually reach out to the community members and trying also to solve problems that face the community. One of the things which is of concern now is the training and development of skills. Without saying much, we even have from here, Kabarak University, students who usually come for their internship, they come for their attachment, isn't it? You are supposed to be immersed to some attachment during your courses. So we have embraced that as a way of extending CSR to the community. Even now, there are many, many students in our branches, in our head office, learning and continuing to actually learn more about the cooperative model. The other aspects of sharing knowledge, even today here, we are here sharing knowledge about circles, cooperatives. These are the avenues. We go out marketing into forums. We teach communities how they can save, how they can borrow. We even have technologies in terms of training farmers, training beekeepers, business incubations coming up from small stage to a big business, the setups and startups. All these are programs of trainings and financial literacy. So we have embraced all this because we appreciate the fact that we are a member of the community. So for the startups, we have the programs, we have our field officers dedicated to visit you at your businesses. They train you, they discuss with you the future of your business, how you will save and how you will access credits. And the circle has traveled good journeys with various clients. We cannot mention them, but we have a good number of clients who we have started with them, and now they have grown from stage to stage. They were small, but they are medium, and they are even focusing to grow more and more. So at the heart of all this is actually we want to be your partner. We want to appreciate the fact that the communities also must get something from Boresha. In fact, we have also green products. We finance solar energy, we finance biogas. All these are aspects that mitigate the issues to do with community, the challenges communities are facing, and that is through our corporate social responsibility arm.
There was an addition. There's an addition, a direct question as to if you have an innovation, can you directly fund us? That's a good question. Indeed, we are open. Because even the other day, when a team of Kabarak were going to Rio de Janeiro, we funded, we supported. So we welcome. And if you have an innovation, so long as we will be biased to the sector, so that we can be happy to write and say proudly that we are funding this innovation. Let the proposals come as thick as we have not done, but we are ready to do that as a financial institution. So, wacha sikuje.
Thank you so much. Wacha sikuje. Now, you've asked about a very good question on capacity building program to promote innovations. And what I mentioned is that Boresha Sacco is a consumer of innovation and technology. However, we've partnered with the collaborators that we work with. We currently have a partnership with Serianu, and Serianu is promoting Cyber Shuja program, which has a lot of security analytics. It has a lot of innovative analytics, and it targets 18 years to 35 years, which most of us are part of this. It has an intake which takes 3 months, and the September intake is currently open. If you can be able to search for Cyber Shuja program, we are proud to be associated with Serianu and USIU, who are partakers of that program. So that's how we have partnered for innovation when it comes to capacity building for the youth and any other innovator around the community. Number 2 is a very good question on Data Protection Act. Honestly, Data Protection Act is here with us. Privacy is very key. Any personal data has to have something called a consent, and a consent is for the period that you are going to process the data. Boresha Sacco is registered with the Commissioner of Data as a data processor and as a data controller. What we ask from the members that we serve is that you sign a consent that you are agreeing Boresha to process and Boresha to store the data. And the reason why we are doing that is for us to serve you better. When we analyze the data, when we credit score you, you are the one who gives us those details, you consent, and we use it for that specific purpose that we've asked for. So when it comes to that, you should not be scared, and you'll not hear anybody saying that so and so, no names, no nothing. It's more of financial empowerment for a wealthy nation.
Thank you, Boresha.
At what point do you know you need money? When what you have is not enough. I think that's a simple answer. If what you have is enough, you go ahead and, but naturally, for you to grow and scale an innovation beyond you and beyond your locality, then you do need some support. And that money can come from many areas. So organizations sometimes internally fund the innovations. They have deep pockets, so they will internally fund. But a majority of innovators, like gathered here today, clearly are not underestimate the depth of your pocket, but I don't know if you have the millions you may need. If you do, well and good. But if you don't, grants come in. I think that's the point. So assess how much you need. If it's not enough, then it's time to look for a grant. Does that help? Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for the responses. Last round of questions, if there are any. Just 3 questions. Are there any questions? And this is the last round. So if you have a question, and allow me not to give chance to anybody who've asked during the first round. So we'll go, Prof. Is that Pastor Isaac? Yes. Then, yes. The last question? That lady over there. Empower her. Yes.
Thank you. My question goes to Dr. Thiga. Thanks for the nice presentation, Dr. Ari. It's just a simple question, really. At what point will you separate grants for research and innovation? It's something which probably I feel you should elaborate more, especially for the sake of students, because in certain cases where you have R&D, like in terms of pharmaceuticals, having so many product lines coming out of this, and probably a lot of money has been put in it, you really have a situation whereby you have products which you can identify to which are different. And so in such a cases, products by itself are sometimes form of innovations. So might be just for the sake of students, you could bring it out a bit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you. My question goes to Dr. Thiga. It's about the grants and the proposals and that kind of a thing. And how many people are required to come up with a grant? Are they necessarily to be handled or tackled by a group of people? Or can they be done maybe by 2 people or maybe 1 person? And yeah, that's my question. Do they come with maybe the instructions of how to go about them? Or we just leave it at it's a grant, it should be worked? And does if one maybe gets an email of a grant, how does one get those partners? Is it on the hand of the one to write the proposal or to work on the grant to find partners, or are there already existing partners to work on the same grant?
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sharon. So my question is also directed to Dr. Thiga. So at what point in my innovation can I apply for a grant? Is it in the early stages when I still have a rough idea of it, or do I have to have it rolled out and already working?
Thank you. Those are 3 questions to Dr. Moses Thiga, and I have a question to Boresha, just 1 question. And my question is, we have a pool of knowledge here, especially within the IT space. Assuming we want to run an innovation competition that is biased towards solving a problem within your area of operation, would you come in to support or work with us to advance such a competition? Is it something you've done before? Is it something you think you can do with us? Because that, I think, would advance collaboration between us and yourselves. Let's start with Dr. Thiga.
Thank you for the questions. The separation of research and innovation grants. Oftentimes, the organization offering the grant is clear on what they want. So, for example, in the university, we have how many funds? We have 3 different funds. We have the research fund, we have the innovation fund, and we have an outreach fund. And the objectives of each are clearly stipulated. So when we send a call for any, the guidelines will be clear. So this is either for basic or applied research, so there you go. And we'll be clear on what that means too. As I mentioned earlier, the basic research or applied research has to do with finding or unearthing something new, something not known. I'm just using the extreme example of a HIV vaccine. That's research. Or unearthing the reasons why the police, at some point in time, were experiencing a lot of violence within themselves, shootings and suicides and etc. Getting to the root cause of issues. That would be research. Innovation is about reconfiguring existing technologies, approaches to solve a new problem, or a problem that has emerged. So during the call, when you read the call, it will be very clear. You will be able to tell whether what you have fits the bill, even without thinking about whether it's innovation or whether it's research or it's etc. The aims of the call will be clear. So hopefully that will help. Again, I said read the call. It will be very clear. The number of people in a grant application, again, there is no rule. Could be 1, could be 100. It depends on a number of things. What are the requirements by the donor? Sometimes they will stipulate that they don't mind an individual investigator or person. Sometimes they require a multidisciplinary team. And the way they define the team will be very, very telling to you on how many people you need. Sometimes they'll even give percentages on gender representations, age, academic qualifications. Again, the call will be very, very clear on how many people are expected to be on a team. So there's really no rule on that. How do you get collaborators? Where are these people? Collaborators are just human beings like yourselves. They're seated in this room. Yeah? You are with them in class, at work. You meet them in conferences, in innovation weeks like this. They can be individuals. They can be organizations. Like now, we have partnered with a lot of organizations for this event. These are collaborators, isn't it? So they come at all levels, at individual level, at organizational level. But then how do you find them? Again, your collaborators are more like the donors. They also have interests. They have certain skill sets. They have certain resources that you need. So when you reflect on what you're doing and you require collaborators, you need then to check who can complement what you're doing, who can enhance what you're doing. Even the donor is a partner because they're coming in to plug a shortfall in financial resources. And why is it important for you to even check their background, as I said before? Because you need to know whether they're interested in what you're doing too. What are their values? Why are they doing this? So the same thing when you evaluate individual collaborators, what kind of skill sets do you need? I gave the example of ICT innovators. You need skill sets from other disciplines, agriculture, health, education, to complement your knowledge in the problem domain that you're working with. So you need people sometimes to complement your academic qualifications. Maybe the call requires someone with a PhD and you don't have one yet. You need to collaborate with somebody at that level. Maybe you need to collaborate with somebody in an NGO. The calls, again, will be very, very explicit on the nature of the teams that you need. And even before the call tells you, you already need to assess. Really, there isn't much worthwhile research or innovation that can be done by an individual alone. These days, and I think it's been for a while, you really can't go it alone. So be proactive about assessing your strengths and where you need people to work with you. And these people are everywhere. And that is why events like this, one of the objectives is networking. Talk to people, meet people, go to the booths, ask Boresha and the rest, what are you doing? ICT Authority are here. We need to give them a chance to tell us a lot about what they're doing. What are you doing at ICT Authority? What are you doing at Kenya? That is where you find partners, in the form of individuals and organizations. At what point do you apply for a grant? Again, depends on the idea, depends on the organization. I keep using our example as Kabarak. At the point at which you want to start a discussion with you regarding money is when you have a prototype. For us, everybody has their terms and conditions. So for us, we cannot have the discussion if you don't have a prototype. Why? As I mentioned, I think, was it yesterday or before? We want to tell that you believe enough in your own idea to risk some of your own resources. And those resources need not be money, could be time. You need to invest something in your own idea. Let's put it that way. Don't just look for people to invest in an idea that yourself you're not ready to risk. Then you don't believe in it. Why should we? Why should we? Even these financial institutions, they'll tell you, when you go to them with a business plan, with anything, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the indicators of whether you really want to go with somebody is what have they done themselves so far. I think that's a rule of the thumb. So at what point do you apply for a grant? When you need it, of course. And for some of us, when you have a prototype, and different bodies require different levels of proofs of concept. Some will even start you at an idea stage. Some are okay. They'll give you a grant even with an idea on paper. And others will have varying levels of expectations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's appreciate Dr. Thiga.
The answer is yes, we can. Yes, we can. But there's an however. When I was presenting, you realize that there's a need that pushes you to innovate. It has to serve a reason. It has to serve a purpose. And how will we know that that need is punching? So it's about collaboration. And I wanted to convince you that the circles are a very organized body in Kenya, in Africa, and the world. I think he talked of the credit unions when he was doing the introduction. If really there's a innovation that can serve the circle, I'll not even say Boresha now, that can serve the circles, and it can really help in one way or another, the circles can come together, maybe during Ushirika Day, which is celebrated every 1st of July every year, or the big umbrella body for circles in Kenya is called Cusco, where all circles are members of Cusco. And once it's at Cusco level, there's another umbrella body called ACOSCA, which is a body of all circles in Africa. And there's an apex body called WOCU, World Credit Council Union, where every time they deliberate to see how are we meeting the social impact, how are we onboarding innovations, how are we growing the members in one way or another. So you realize that it's possible, it's doable, and it can be magnificently done. So feel free to collaborate more, feel free to know how the circles work, and feel free to solve a problem within the circles. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie, for that information. Let's appreciate Winnie. So that was question and answer session that featured Dr. Moses Thiga, who presented this morning on writing grants for innovation. And we also had a presentation from Boresha Sacco about the role of SACCOs in the financing of innovations. And they were giving us their case study, their case. And of course, we have now done a Q&A. I believe we are continuing to grow knowledge, to gain knowledge, because you have an idea is one thing, but being able to push that idea from one level to another is something else. And I like what Dr. Thiga is saying, that if you yourself cannot risk, you cannot invest in your own idea, then it simply means you do not believe in it. You have no reason finding somebody else to invest in it. an investment may not necessarily mean money. You may invest in it, in other ways. But what you need to show is that you have passion for it, you believe in what you're doing, and somebody else may just see what you're seeing and come through for you to push you up to be able to implement your innovation. So thank you so much. It is now time for breakfast. I would like to, this is the order, I will invite our guests to the library. And Dr. Moses Thiga is going to lead that team to the library. I will invite our lecturers so our guests will come out through the door on the left.